and welcome to TOKI Talk. I'm Erin Pomrenke, the town's communication director, and I'm joined today with Emily Speck and Courtney Simmons with the Island Habitat for Humanity. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So we're here at a live construction site, and before we kind of dig into Habitat and its mission, can you both kind of tell your stories, how you started with this organization?
Sure, you want me to go first?
Sure.
So I was in school, this year I graduated May 3rd, and I went to school for construction management. And I got started because I was telling my friends how I cannot retain this book information. I need to get on a site to retain information doing hands-on. So he ended up sending me a rules article where it was Women Vote Week in April this year. And I was like, I need to get there because it's women like me, like-minded, and I need to be around them. So I ended up volunteering on a Thursday, and I was networking with Nick, one of our development coordinator, and he was telling me that they had a position available for a site supervisor. And I was like, you kidding me? I was graduating May 3rd, a month later, and he was just telling me how the position was available, and I applied for it, and I got the interview 3 days after I graduated. So that's how I ended up here with this position.
And how long have you been here?
5 months. 5
months.
Yes.
That's great.
Just 5 months.
What about you, Emily?
So I come from the nonprofit sector. So I've worked in nonprofits for 20 years. Previous to here, I was with Girl Scouts of Colorado. I had been actually working remote for them for, almost 3 years, living here in Charleston, and I was just ready to get back to local. And I saw the amazing work that Sea Island Habitat for Humanity does in the community. Had seen some things in like the media of all their great work, and I said, I got to see what's going on. And fortunate for me, there was a development director position open. Started working with them, and it's just been a perfect fit. And I absolutely love the work that they do here.
Yeah,
and the
that's
people.
how it happened.
Yeah.
Everything just fell in line, which was crazy to me. I was like, wow, it was meant. I feel like it was meant to be.
Yeah. That's great. So, Emily, what's Habitat's mission?
So our mission, kind of in a nutshell, is we are here to build homes, community, and hope. And what that really means is that we build affordable houses for our community. We call it a hand up, not a handout. What that means is that our future homeowners are here. They're doing sweat equity on the job site. They're building their homes, but also they have a mortgage payment. It's just kind of capped at an affordable level. And then also we do a pretty extensive critical repair program. So we go out to people who own their homes and need things like roofs, windows, doors, accessibility ramps, all of those things really to make sure that they can stay safely in their home and stay there.
And Courtney, you work with a lot of volunteers with a lot of different skill sets. Can you talk about some of that work and maybe some of the challenges and some of the really great things that come with that?
Sure. So I don't really think it's any challenges because you can come as you are. You don't have to have no experience at whatsoever because we're educators first. As a construction site supervisor, we educate them on how to do it and how to do it safely and how to get the job done. So you can come and volunteer, and you don't even have to know that this particular tool is a hammer.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you what it is, and you're going to leave with lots of knowledge.
Emily, so does Sea Islands Habitat have any kind of goal every year that you're trying to hit?
Yeah, so for our building of homes, typically we're building 6 to 8 houses a year. And that's, in our kind of service area, which is like James Island, Johns Island, Wadmalaw. We go all the way down to Edisto. So kind of on the coast here, hence the Sea Islands. And then on top of that, I mentioned that critical repair program. We're averaging about 100 repairs in a year. And we're able to do all of that because of our volunteers and also because of our really generous donors and supporters that we have in the community. One big thing is that we don't build homes, we don't do repairs unless we have the funds to be able to do that. And so we're able to do that because of that support.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the repairs? What kind of work is usually done with those?
Yeah, so those mostly, we get applications from homeowners. They have to own their home. And a lot of times what we're seeing is those are typically people who are elderly or sometimes have like disabilities that for whatever reason the repairs on their home and that upkeep has been a little hard for them. They also have to fall within that low income bracket. So we're seeing, again, a lot of people that are, on a disability check or are here on Social Security, and they really need that help to make a safe place for them to be able to live and continue to stay there. We don't want them to, have to leave their house or anything like that. So we will do roof repairs. We do have quite an extensive list for that. But, if we get a call that someone needs an accessibility ramp, we'll actually adjust our schedule to make sure they can get that. We see that a lot in our community, especially we have a lot of elevated homes, a lot of trailers, and sometimes when storms come through, like we've been seeing a lot of, they actually get stuck in their houses because they can't get out because they need that ramp. So if they call us, we'll do our best to get them on that schedule as quickly as possible.
Okay. And as far as funding, can you talk a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, so our funding, we kind of say it's like a three-legged stool. One comes from our mortgage payments, which is part of it. Another is our Restore. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Maybank. It's fabulous. And that is great because we get donations from people like in the town of Kiawah, in our area. And then we're able to resell that to our community and make a profit on that. That goes directly into our building supplies. And then the last one is just like our fundraising arms, our special events, like Women Build, Courtney mentioned. We just did pickleball last week, our golf tournament. And then also people are just very generous in our community and donating. And then we also do grants. So we got a very generous grant from town of Kiawah, actually, to do the house that we're hearing under construction right now. And that grant, along with the other support, it pays for all of our supplies. Our houses are running, depends on it, just for the sticks and bricks is about $150,000 to $175,000 to build the house. Land, as you know, is all over the map of where it can be for the cost for that. But we're able to continue to do our mission of building the 6 to 8 houses and continue to look forward to future projects like possible future neighborhood coming down the line in our area. And that's all from our donors and our supporters.
As far as volunteers, Courtney, how important are volunteers for this effort?
Very important. Yeah. Like when I say very important, without the volunteers, we want to be able to get as much work done as possible in one day. Not even just with the construction team, even with the organization. They help us see out our mission. They even help as far as like if we have the volunteers, we can keep the labor costs down so that our partner families are able to afford a low cost mortgage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they play a major role with us.
And do you know how many volunteers approximately for each area usually have to help with, like, say, the house behind us, for example?
It varies. Like yesterday we had a group of about, I think 30 from a builder named Poti. Okay. Today we have about 10 volunteers. So it all varies on how many people volunteer or if it's coming as a group from a company.
Got it. And probably the work that needs to be done.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And you said that anyone can volunteer. You don't need to know which end of the hammer to hold. You don't even know what any of the equipment is.
No, you do not. Yep, we're educators first, so we're going to educate you to make sure you're doing it properly and safely. So, and you can come with no knowledge, and you're going to leave with plenty. You're going to know what kind of lumber we use, why we use it.
Right.
Whether it's inside lumber, weather treated or untreated lumber, but you're going to come not educated, and then you're going to leave with lots of information, and you're going to want to come back. We're going to keep you coming back more and more.
And is there an age range that you need to, like, you have to be a certain range and up?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So on an active construction site, I think is 18 and over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do sometimes. Yeah, sometimes we can have 16 and 17-year-olds. There's just guidelines. They're like, they can't get on ladders. It just depends on the work we're doing, if we can bring them in or not.
So Emily, I know you talked about Restore. What are some other ways that the community can get involved to help Sea Island's Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is if people are interested, pop on over to our website. It's seaislandhabitat.org. And on there, they can see the events that we have coming up. They can see other ways that they can support. Also, something that we've seen within our community a lot more is we mentioned some of the groups that come out is like, if your company does check out to see if they do matching for volunteer hours. So we've got a lot of people that come out from Bank of America. They're big supporters of ours. And when they volunteer or they do a donation, there's matches for that. So that's like a double dip for us, right? We get the volunteer hours and we get that financial support to be able to actually build and do our work.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Of course.
A little bit more about your work. We appreciate all that you do for the community as well.
Thank you.
So that concludes our episode of TOKI Talk.
This concludes another episode of TOKI Talk. As always, we encourage you to sign up for our weekly town e-blast, follow us on social media, and participate in or watch our town meetings on our YouTube channel. We look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more podcasts to come.